Hello, beautiful friends. Welcome to our Bible study. I was out of commission for a week or so because I had 6 kids at home for spring break. Loads of fun being a mom. And my oldest daughter went to New York for 4 days and ended up being kind of stressful for me because the oldest daughter got stuck in New York and decided that she was just going to stay there. No, the snowstorm decided for her. The snowstorm that blew through, they left on Saturday and came back on Wednesday. They were supposed to come back Tuesday. They got stuck an extra day, but she enjoyed her extra day because she got to see snow, which is something most South Texas kids don't get to see. So it was really exciting. But moral of the story gave me a really great Bible study thing to do because she flew by herself. Since they got delayed, then they had to split the groups into 3 different groups for their flight. So she got put with a group that 2 parents were chaperones instead of actual chaperones or teachers. So the parents, once they got to the airport, didn't keep up with my daughter. So Christina ended up walking around Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas by herself. So I'm like totally freaking out because it's Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas. It's one of the largest airports in the United States. And here's my cute little 14-year-old daughter all by herself. Well, my daughter's smart, so she called me. So I get a phone call and she's like, "Hey, Mom, I don't think I'm where I'm supposed to be. I don't know where to go." So I told her, it's like, "Well, where are you?" Well, their plane had gotten sent to a different terminal than she was supposed to come into. She was supposed to come into Terminal B. Well, instead of coming into Terminal B, she ended up coming into Terminal D. So she's at a totally different terminal. Well, at Intercontinental, if you've never been there, it's a huge airport, and you have to actually take a tram, a little train bus thing, to get to from Terminal D to Terminal B, where I was. So I have her on the phone. I'm not letting her go. Well, then our phone call drops, and I freak out because I know my daughter is somewhere in an airport by herself trying to find her way to me. So I call her back, she doesn't pick up. I call her back, she doesn't pick up. I called like 8 times and she didn't pick up the phone. Finally, the 9th time, she picked up the phone and I've got her back on the phone, so I stop freaking out. And I walk over to a security guard and I ask him, "Okay, how do we get her from Terminal D to me at Terminal B?" And he says, "Okay, look, here's what she's gonna have to do. Is she a resourceful kid?" He's like, "Or do we need to go find her?" Like, "No, she's resourceful. She's very, very smart." And he's like, "Well, do you have her on the phone with you?" I said, "Yes." He's like, "Well, keep her on the phone with you and I can guide her here." I was like, "All right, cool." So he guides her to the trams where she's supposed to be. She gets on the tram and gets to me, finally comes walking through the gate, and I probably hugged her a little too tight. I probably embarrassed the heck out of her because I hadn't seen her in 4 days, and also she got lost. I couldn't find her. I was half freaking out. So this reminded me of a story that I've read in my Bible numerous times. They have songs about it, they have little kids stuff about it, all kinds of stuff. So the story is in Luke chapter 15, and it's the parable of the lost sheep. And I'm going to start in verse 1, and I'm going to read through verse 7. It says, "All the tax collectors and sinners were approaching to listen to him," Jesus, "and the Pharisees and scribes were complaining, 'This man welcomes sinners and eats with them.' So he told them this parable. 'What man among you has 100 sheep and loses one of them, and does not leave the 99 in the open field to go after the one lost until he finds it? When he has found it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders, and coming home, he calls his friends and neighbors together, saying to them, "Rejoice with me, for I have found my lost sheep.' I tell you, in the same way, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous people who don't need repentance. Okay, I had seen probably 50 people come through that gate before Christina got there, and people were greeting their loved ones and hugging them, and I'm just freaking out because where's my kid? So it made me think, when we're children of God and we kind of go on our own program for a little while and go away from Him and start doing things that we know we're not supposed to do, or saying things that we know we're not supposed to say, or I kind of wonder what He's up there thinking when we're down here judging other people, when we're down here taking the people that we're supposed to love and care for, our neighbors, our friends, people who aren't our neighbors or our friends, people that we see every day that might be sad or need help, and we just ignore them. And it makes me wonder, what is God thinking about us? I mean, I'm sitting there freaking out because my kid is in an international airport. We live in the world. We're not anywhere near God. He's in heaven and He's looking down on us, and we're down here living in sin with the millions of other people who live in sin on this planet. There's sin all around us. And I look at my Bible, and my Bible teaches me to love. Love your neighbor as yourself. If you're not loving your neighbor, if you're not caring about them, then we're not doing what God told us to do. And I really think that He's down there, that we're down here, and He's up there, just like I was standing in Terminal B waiting for my daughter to come from Terminal D. And I think that we're kind of out in Terminal D and God's in Terminal B, and so we decide that we're going to walk around until we find our way, and then we kind of think we have our way, and we get on the phone with God and we tell Him, okay, we've got this. We're on our way. We can see you. I know where you are, and we're talking to God. We're doing really good. We're keeping open communication, and then we drop our call. And so we think we can do it by ourselves. I mean, when I got my daughter back on the phone, she was like, Mom, I can find Terminal B. I'm like, no, I need you on the phone with me so I can make sure that we guide you in the right direction. Had we not had her on the phone, she would have taken the wrong tram to get to us, because there's two sides of Terminal B, and she needed to go to the side that her flight was with, the airline her flight was with, and she would have taken the wrong tram to get to us had we not had her on the phone. I think a lot of times, if we don't have God on the phone with us as such, if we're not praying to Him and we're not keeping open communication, then we're going to get on the wrong tram. We're going to take the wrong path. And so we need to keep those open communications. So we keep talking to God, we get Him back on the phone, and we get on the right train, and we start going, and then we get to the right terminal, but we don't know where to go from there. So we enlist the help. I enlisted the help of a security guard who knew the airport just like the back of his hand. So enlist the help of a friend who knows their Bible, who knows it inside out and upside down. I mean, if you need to email me, my email is biblicalbodies@mail.com. I'll be glad to help you through anything that you're going through. I'll be glad to talk to you. I'll be glad to help with whatever you need to talk about. I think that we need to have someone here on earth that can kind of be a lifeline to God for us. So I had that security guard, and he helped me guide my daughter to where she needed to be. And finally, she got to where I was, and we were able to hang up the phone. Well, that's going to be heaven for us. When we finally walk through the gates of heaven, then we can hang up the phone, because we'll be there with God. So just gave me a little bit to think about this week. And so I have my daughter at home now. She's safe. And I will let her go on other trips, even though I freaked out. You guys have a great week. Y'all are beautiful, and I will be doing another video tomorrow, and keep doing them every day, so keep a lookout. Love you guys.